There is a single number that decides the size of your Social Security check for the rest of your life. And it is not your salary, it is not how many years you worked, and it is not how much you paid in. It is the year you were born. The Social Security Administration runs a different rule book for almost every birth year in this country. Your full retirement age, the exact age where your check is neither cut nor boosted, is different depending on the year on your birth certificate. The penalty for claiming early is different. The reward for waiting is different. And here is the part that should make you sit up. The agency knows your birth year, it knows your number, and it will never once call you to tell you what that number is or what it is costing you. It simply processes whatever decision you make and locks the result in for life. Right now, in this year, there are people in every single age group either collecting less than they are owed or standing one signature away from a mistake they can never take back, for one reason only. Nobody ever sat them down and explained the rules for their specific year. So today, I am going to do that. I'm going to put you in your group by the year you were born and tell you exactly what applies to you, what to check, and the one mistake in your group that costs the most. Get a pen, find your year, and stay until the end, because the last thing I tell you is the one question to ask before you ever claim, and it can save you more than everything else combined. Here is exactly what I'm going to walk you through in order. First, why your birth year changes everything. The law almost no one has heard of that quietly rewrote the rules by year of birth. Then, 4 groups. Group 1, if you were born between 1943 and 1954. Group 2, if you were born between 1955 and 1959. And this is the most dangerous group of all in this exact moment, because the rules change for every single birth year inside it. Group 3, if you were born between 1960 and 1965. And Group 4, if you were born in 1966 or later. Find your group, but I want you to listen to all of them, because the one for your spouse, your brother, your neighbor is in here too. And stay for the very end, because there is a do-over that exists in the law that almost nobody knows about that can undo a claiming mistake you made as recently as this year. My name is Reed Banks, and I work as a federal tax specialist. Most of my work is with retirees on Social Security, Medicare, and the federal rules that decide how much of your own money you actually keep. I am not here to sell you anything, and I am not here to frighten you. I am here because I have watched too many careful, intelligent people sign one form on one ordinary morning and quietly lose $100,000 over the rest of their lives, simply because no one ever told them what their own number was. That is a fixable problem, and we're going to fix it right now. So let me explain why your birth year matters at all, because once you understand this, every group makes sense. For most of the history of Social Security, the full retirement age, the age at which you receive 100% of your earned benefit, was 65. Then, in 1983, Congress passed a law that slowly raised that age, not all at once, but on a sliding scale tied to the year you were born. Each group of birth years got pushed a little further out, so the full retirement age became 66 for one set of years, then crept up by 2 months at a time for the next set, until it landed at 67 for everyone born in 1960 and after. That single law is why 2 people, both turning 62 this year, can have completely different rules, completely different penalties, and completely different checks, purely because one was born a few years before the other. And here is the mechanism that makes it so unforgiving. Whatever age you claim at, the increase or the reduction is in almost every case permanent. If you claim before your full retirement age, your check is cut by a set percentage, and it stays cut for the rest of your life and for your surviving spouse after you. If you wait past your full retirement age, your check grows by a set percentage for every month you wait, up to age 70, and that raise is permanent too. There is no do-over window once the years go by, with one narrow exception I will give you at the end. So the entire game comes down to knowing 2 things: your exact full retirement age, down to the month, and what claiming early or late actually does to your specific number. Almost no one can tell you their own full retirement age to the month, By the end of this, you will know yours. Group 1. If you were born between 1943 and 1954, you are roughly between 72 and 83 years old today. Your full retirement age was 66, and most of you have been collecting Social Security for years and assume there is nothing left to check. That assumption is quietly costing some of you real money every single month. And there are two things you need to look at. The first is whether you are even collecting the right benefit. And this matters most if you have lost a husband or a wife. Let me tell you about Arlene. Arlene is 78, a retired hospital records clerk from outside Canton, Ohio. Her husband Ray passed 6 years ago. Ray had been the higher earner his whole life, and his Social Security check was about $2,300 a month. Arlene, who worked fewer years at lower pay, collects her own benefit, about $1,180 a month, and she has collected that smaller amount every month since Ray died, because no one told her any different. Here is what Arlene did not know. As a widow, she is entitled to a survivor benefit of up to 100% of what Ray was receiving, up to the full $2,300, not her $1,100. For 6 years, she had been leaving more than $1,000 a month on the table, money that was hers for the asking, simply because the agency never automatically moved her to the higher amount. They do not do it for you. You have to ask. So the action step for anyone in this group who has lost a spouse, call the Social Security Administration at 1-800-772-1213 and say one specific sentence. I want you to compare my own benefit against my survivor benefit on my late spouse's record, and put me on the higher of the two. Make them pull both numbers and compare them out loud. The second thing for this group is Medicare and a surcharge called IRMAA. If your income was higher in some earlier year because you sold a house, took a large withdrawal, or did a Roth conversion, Medicare may still be charging you extra today based on that old, higher income. That surcharge can add anywhere from about $70 to nearly $500 on top of your standard Part B premium every month. And if your income has since dropped, you can appeal it using Form SSA 44, the life-changing event form. The action step. If you are paying more than the standard Medicare premium and your income has fallen, request Form SSA 44 and file it with proof of the change. Group 2. If you were born between 1955 and 1959, you are roughly between 67 and 71 years old. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is the most dangerous group in this entire video because the rules are different for every single birth year inside it. And almost no one knows their own number. So here is your number exactly. If you were born in 1955, your full retirement age is 66 and 2 months. Born in 1956, 66 and 4 months. Born in 1957, 66 and 6 months. Born in 1958, 66 and 8 months. Born in 1959, 66 and 10 months. That is your number. Not 66, not 67, your specific month. And the reason it matters so much is that the people in this group are making or have just made the single biggest money decision of their retirement, and getting it wrong is permanent. Let me tell you about Dennis. Dennis is 69, a retired machinist from near Fort Wayne, Indiana, born in 1957. The day Dennis turned 62, he claimed his Social Security because a buddy told him to get it while you can. What Dennis did not know is that his full retirement age was 66 and 6 months, which meant claiming at 62 cut his benefit by 27.5% for life. On a benefit that would have been $2,000, that is $550 less every single month, that he will never get back. Over a 20-year retirement, that is more than $130,000. Dennis did not do anything reckless. He just was never told his number, and the agency processed his early claim without ever stopping to explain what it would cost him over the decades to come. Now, if you are in this group and you have not yet claimed, the opposite force works in your favor. For every month you wait past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by 2/3 of 1% permanently, which adds up to about 8% a year all the way to age 70. Depending on your exact birth year, waiting from your full retirement age to 70 can add somewhere between 24 and 32% to your check for the rest of your life. And one more rule for this group that confuses people badly. If you are collecting Social Security before your full retirement age and you are still working, there is an earnings limit. In this year, if you earn more than roughly $23,000 from a job, the agency withholds $1 for every $2 you go over. Here is the part that calms people down. that money is not gone forever. Once you reach your full retirement age, they recalculate and credit it back to you. But if you do not know the rule, it feels like your check vanished with no explanation. The action step for this group. Before you do anything else, find out your exact full retirement age from the list I just gave you. Write it down to the month. And if you have not claimed yet, do not claim a single day without knowing precisely what early claiming takes away and what waiting adds. Group 3. If you were born between 1960 and 1965, you are roughly between 61 and 66 years old. And your rule is clean and simple. Your full retirement age is exactly 67. No months to memorize. But that clean number hides the steepest penalty of all. Because your full retirement age is 67, claiming at 62 cuts your benefit by a full 30% permanently. On a $2,000 benefit, that is $600 less every month for the rest of your life. And over a 20-year retirement, around $144,000. The agency will process that early claim without once warning you what it means over the long run. They will ask if you understand your benefit will be reduced, you will say yes, and that reduced number becomes your permanent number. So this is the group that most needs to slow down before signing. But there is also a hidden opportunity here that almost nobody asks for. If you wait and claim after you have already reached your full retirement age of 67, you can request up to 6 months of retroactive payments. The agency will pay you as if you had filed up to 6 months earlier, which can mean a lump sum of up to $12,000 arriving with your very first check. There is a trade-off. Your start date moves back, so your ongoing monthly amount is slightly lower. But for many people, that lump sum is exactly what they need. And the option just sits there unused because no one asks. And for those of you in this group still 5 or 6 years from claiming, the most valuable thing you can do today costs nothing. Go to ssa.gov, create your My Social Security account, and open your earnings statement. Check every year of income listed against your own memory and records. One wrong year, an employer who reported the wrong amount back in the 1990s, a year of self-employment that never got recorded, can quietly shave roughly $100 off your monthly benefit for life. Find it now while you still have time to fix it. Group 4. If you were born in 1966 or later, you are 60 or younger. And you might be wondering why any of this applies to you yet. It applies precisely because you have time. And time is the one thing that makes these problems fixable for free. Your full retirement age is 67. Claiming at 62 will mean a 30% permanent cut. Waiting until 70 can add around 24% for life. Those numbers are already set in stone, but one thing is not set yet, and that is whether the record the government is keeping on you is even correct. The Social Security Administration has been recording your earnings since your very first paycheck, and every one of those years came from an employer. And every year was a chance for something to go wrong. A wrong number, a missed year, a stretch of self-employment reported incorrectly. Let me tell you about Marcus, 39, who pulled his earnings statement on a quiet Sunday and found that an entire year from his 20s, a year he worked at a company that later went out of business, was simply blank. The company was gone, but Marcus still had a shoebox with his old W-2 forms, including that year. So he was able to file a correction with proof and get the year restored to his record. Here is why that matters. Each uncorrected year can lower your eventual benefit by around $100 a month. And the records you need to fix it, old W-2 forms, pay stubs, tax returns, are far easier to find today than they will be in 15 or 20 years. The action step. Go to ssa.gov. Open your Social Security statement and compare your earnings year by year against whatever records you have. If a year is wrong or missing, file a request to correct your earnings record with documentation. Generally, the agency treats your record as final after about 3 years, but with real proof of an employer error or a missing year, they will correct it well beyond that. Do it now, while you still have the paperwork and while the fix costs you nothing. Now here is the one I promised you, the thing that almost nobody knows, and it is for anyone who is listening to all of this with a sinking feeling because they already claimed early and think it is too late. It may not be too late. There is a do-over written into the law. If you claimed your Social Security within the last 12 months, you are allowed to withdraw your application entirely using Form SSA 521, hit the reset button, plan and reclaim later at a higher amount. The catch is real. You have to pay back the benefits you have already received, and you can only do this once in your lifetime. But for someone who claimed at 62 a few months ago and has just now realized what it cost them over 20 years, paying back a few months of checks to undo a permanent 30% cut can be one of the best financial moves they ever make. And if your 12 months have passed, but you have reached your full retirement age, there is a second option. You can ask the agency to voluntarily suspend your benefit, and it will then grow by those delayed credits until you turn it back on up to age 70. The do-over within 12 months, Form SSA 521, the suspension after full retirement age. 2 ways out that the agency will never volunteer. So here is your summary by group. Born between 1943 and 1954, check that you are on the higher benefit, especially if you are widowed, and look at whether an old income year is still inflating your Medicare premium. Born between 1955 and 1959, know your full retirement age down to the exact month, and never claim a day without knowing what early costs you and what waiting adds. Born between 1960 and 1965, understand that claiming at 62 means a 30% permanent cut, and ask about the 6-month retroactive lump sum if you are past 67. And born in 1966 or later, open your earnings statement at ssa.gov today and verify every year while the fix is still free. If you take only one thing from everything I have said, take this. And it is the one question I promised you, the one that protects you more than all the rest combined. Before you ever claim Social Security, before you sign anything, you call the agency or you sit with someone you trust and you ask out loud, what is my full retirement age to the exact month? And exactly how much does claiming today cost me or earn me for the rest of my life? That one question, asked before you sign instead of after, is the difference between Arlene's missing $1,000 a month and Dennis's missing $130,000, and a check that is everything you actually earned. Arlene was never told to ask. Dennis was never told his number. Marcus almost lost a year of his life's work to a blank line on a form. Not one of them did anything wrong. They simply were never told. Now you have been told. If this helped you, hit the like button because it genuinely helps this reach one more person before they sign the form instead of after. And with this, timing is everything. And subscribe because the rules around your Social Security change constantly. And when they change, the agency does not call you. It simply changes the policy and expects you to already know. The next thing I'm going to walk you through is the one letter from Social Security that is actually good news. The back pay that millions of retirees with public pensions are suddenly owed under a law that just changed, and exactly how to claim it before you are skipped. And before you go, do the one thing that matters most. Find the year on your own birth certificate, find your group, and then send this to the person you love who is in a different group than you. Your spouse, your sibling, your neighbor, because their number is different from yours, and the mistake waiting for them is different from yours. The person who loses $100,000 is almost never careless. They are almost always someone who simply was never handed their own number in time. You can be the one who hands it to them. This is Reed Banks, and I will see you in the next video.